If I were to ask you a question as to where you were on May 13th, 1917, you may think, I just finished, you may think I'm a little crazy and maybe losing my words. Maybe you are. Many of us were not in Fatima, Portugal 107 years ago when Our Lady appeared to the three shepherd children who were looking after the sheep and playing some very simple games. Thanks to written statements of many witnesses, as well as countless official records of the apparitions, we can just almost imagine and place ourselves in Fatima, Portugal, over 100 years ago. The most obvious change today is that the grounds are no longer the grass field in the middle just about nowhere. Today it's now a very pleasant square with two beautiful churches for us to go in prayer. It's a holy place with great memories and, of course, as I said, very conducive to prayer. You also may have heard that the three children were taught to pray and went to Mass as a family, went to Mass with their parents on a regular basis, and they were very innocent. From what I have read, their encounter with our Blessed Mother was a calm and peaceful one. They expressed no fear. They were at peace. They were tranquil. Their fear, by the way, and confusion came when some people, including family members as well as the local authorities, expressed their disbelief that they called the children liars, that they had seen this beautiful lady from heaven. Again, the children maintained their innocence. Also, when they were meeting with the local bishop, he told the children to have the lady identify herself to them. Our Lady then told them that she was the Immaculate Conception. Now, the significance of the name did not mean too much to the children. The joy still continued in having seen and having witnessed and listened to this beautiful lady from heaven. The bishop, however, was totally different to the reaction. The name of Our Lady meant a great deal to him, the Immaculate Conception. Again, for the children, it meant very little. But for the bishop, it meant a great deal because he knew about the Immaculate Conception, as now many of us, and I hope all of us, do. See, language makes a big difference in our lives and in our faith as well, and how we express it. In today's gospel, we might question, how did the disciples come to believe that Jesus is truly the Son of God sent from heaven? So Jesus taught his disciples often, speaking in parables. He used stories with vivid images which express in a clear language what God's kingdom is like and how God's power can change all of our lives, as he did to the apostles. His disciples then came to reflect through the wonderful language of spiritual truth that Jesus wanted them to understand and to accept. Jesus so spoke to them in more plain or clear language and the purpose why he was sending them out into the world. The disciples, in turn, professed their belief in Jesus that he truly came from God and taught as one who possessed full knowledge of God. We realize this in the gospel, that Jesus could read hearts like our hearts and your hearts like an open book. They knew their weaknesses as well as their strengths. Jesus, just like Mary, knows each one of us, knows our hearts. Mary knew that the children could cope with many challenges that they faced through the years. With Mary's help, they succeeded. Two of them going to heaven at a younger age, within a couple of years. Lucia stayed a few more decades to be with us as a witness. The message of Fatima over 100 years ago and today is our honor and a way to follow Mary. Mary, who said to the children and is telling us today, over 107 years after, pray the rosary. Pray the rosary. Very simple language. Pray the rosary. I ask you then, can you please pray the rosary? not just for yourself, but pray for someone else. Pray for maybe a family member, a friend. How about this novelty? Pray for someone you don't like, to be at peace with them. God loves them the same way God loves you. Pray for that individual or those people you don't like. Pray especially for those who criticize you for practicing your faith. And when they come to visit you at home, wherever it may be, and you have the Holy Rosary in your hands, as we've talked about, I believe, before Mass, pray that Rosary. Don't be ashamed of who you are and who you pray to Jesus and Mary, to be of great comfort and protection to you. Personally speaking, I too continue to be a benefactor of the Holy Rosary from the very young age, which I didn't really know what I was saying, but Mother said, Mom and my grandmother would say, continue to pray because one day you're going to understand it. Here we are. I understand a little more, and I continue to grow with it. Pray the Rosary every day. How beautiful it is. You see, prayer is a beautiful way, especially the Rosary, against evil, against all the bad stuff that's out there in the world. And it highlights the good, which always should be highlighted. Even to this day, from a young age and into this day, I continue to benefit from the Holy Rosary. Mary's grace was upon me in a very, very special way, that on this day, on May the 13th, another dream of mine came true. I was ordained a priest to the priesthood of Jesus Christ. Not in Fatima, in Toronto, but still a priest. You see, dear friends, prayer is always and a good thing in many, many ways, in many forms. And now, there's thousands of books out there to do with prayer, and that's not a bad thing. Yet, it's a good thing to pray a prayer that's simple, a prayer that you know from the heart, that you can pray without a book being opened, that you can open your heart to pray to Mary. Again, if I already mentioned pray the Rosary, I'll mention it again. Pray the Rosary for as long as you can, that one day you'll obtain the graces that the children received, that you and I can also receive, just like many popes have, and continue to receive. So pray the Rosary and discover the graces that you can obtain through them, one Mary, one Hail Mary at a time.